Today on Suncoast View, the Suncoast works to return to life as usual. We know the damage from Irma could have been so much worse. Today we'll learn from our meteorologist how our luck changed.
And we'll meet some hurricane heroes who went above and beyond to help during the heart of the storm.
And how has the storm impacted our arts organizations? We'll find out which shows will go on this weekend. All that and more right now on Suncoast View.
Welcome to the show. I have never been so glad to see everybody and have a normal day, if one can call it that. We're getting there.
Are you well rested?
No, I'm not well rested, but I'm really glad it's Friday, and I know very few of you are well rested. It has been quite a week. We are glad you are with us. We are glad Marcia Panucci is back with us as well.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm here.
I think we would all agree with that. Well, we were certainly worried about you and all your animals at Dante's Den because you are quite a bit further east than a lot of people, and that got a lot of wind. Tell us how things fared for you.
Well, John Scalzi said go east, so we went east, and we stayed at Dante's Den. We were totally blessed. We didn't even know that the pelting winds were out there, the rain. We had 88 dogs that we were administering to, and you can see there's one of our, that's Kenya. She was one of our clients that was boarding with us. And by the way, we had a little calf born on our property, and we're not even checking to see if it's a boy or a girl. It's Irma. And there's Salvador. He is the head of our security for the cows. And,
well, he scared Irma. I know how that works. He scared Irma away.
That is my Zeus, who is our chief of security. He was in the pool the first chance he could get to play with his balls. So we were very, very lucky. We had no structural damage. We had no flooding whatsoever. And 88 dogs were as calm as could be.
Oh, my.
We were taking the Xanax, but they were perfectly fine.
All right, well, good. I'm glad things ended up so well for you. But Beth and I both had similar experiences. If you weren't watching our coverage, we were both stationed at the Emergency Operations Centers. I called it the bunker because, like you said, Marcia, I really didn't hear those winds raging and the rain pelting because we were in such a secure atmosphere. That was the positive. The negative was there were a lot of us in a very small area. So that was the media room at the Manatee Emergency Operations Center. And you see all those cots and blow-up beds and sleeping bags. Well, that's where we hunkered down for 3 days. That's our photographer, Bart. We're very close now. And after living together for a couple days. And here's Bo Beth's experience at Sarasota. I assume you guys were hunkered down in this room?
This was our room, our little 15 by 12 space.
Wow.
But we didn't have any blow-up beds. It was so small that they were not happy about that option. So we just got some blankets and pillows and got a wall.
And you know what? You became really close with everybody you were hanging with.
Yes, we did. We did.
Well, Linda, we were very glad to see that you were able to be with your daughter and your grandchildren from the storm. I'm sure they appreciated that.
That is Ellington, and it was my brother-in-law's house. They really, or Kathy's brother-in-law's house, he had really boarded it up with shutters. So once we went inside those shutters and let them down, we didn't see daylight. We didn't see any light for like 12 hours. I was on my phone until I was afraid it would go out, and there's no way to recharge
and this is a picture of your house.
That's my house.
Yeah.
I came back the next day, and I came around the curve, and I had tears in my eyes because I just knew it would be gone. And it was there. It withstood. Of course, I haven't had electricity now in 5 days. It was that long before I could wash my hair. Finally, I had to go somewhere else. I could not stand this any longer. But please get us electricity back. Oh, my goodness.
Yes, a lot of folks still working
I know
for
I
that.
speak for much of the community. I am so proud to be part of your family because you guys were awesome.
Oh, thank you.
And we were watching you on Facebook throughout the whole storm. You were the guys that got us through, and Bob Harrigan and John Scalzi and Wendy Ross. Unbelievable. Thanks for keeping us safe.
Oh, I knew step by step, even though I was in that little room. I knew step by step because I was watching on the cell phone until it went by. And once it went by, then I could stop worrying about my cell phone. But I don't know what we do without cell phones these days with the electricity out.
Yeah, because a lot of people are still without power, so their phones won't work.
Exactly.
Right.
So they're having to go to charging stations and things like that. So, well, we're getting there. It was a humbling experience to be part of such a great community and to see everybody come together after the storm. So we have some really great stories to share today, and I'm looking forward to it. Well, one of our great stories is in the kitchen. We are proud that our friend Sam from Tsunami Sushi in Sarasota is back with us. Great to be in the groove. What are you making today?
Today we're making one of the hottest items on the Tsunami menu. It's the honeymooner stuffed jalapeno.
Oh, that sounds very good. Now, Sam, we have to ask, how did Tsunami fare during the storm?
Tsunami did so good. We didn't lose power, we never lost water, so all the food was safe, everything was great. I even had a couple of chefs that stayed there during the storm
because it was safe.
It's so secure. Yeah.
Well, and we certainly appreciate you because I understand that you brought a surprise delivery of food here to the station
Hey,
for
you
our
guys
staff.
were awesome.
So
we
thank you for that.
appreciate you. So.
Eating was the hard part during the storm, I'll be honest. We were pretty hungry.
While we were out in the field, we couldn't get any food, but we heard they were
We heard they were fed here. Bo Beth and I were hungry, but you know what? I call it the Irma diet. It's been worth a couple of pounds this week. All right, we'll join you in the kitchen in just a minute. Obviously, because of the hurricane, many events have been rescheduled, but this is a big one I want you to know about. The Taste of Downtown that helps the Sarasota Opera has been rescheduled twice, actually. Its new date will be Saturday, September 30th, and that is in the afternoon at the Opera House. So be sure to put that on the calendar. You can get the details at sarasotaopera.org, but from what I've heard, original tickets still valid. If you need to get a refund because the new date doesn't work with you, that will be allowed as well.
And that's so good. There's entertainment. The singers are singing. There's wonderful food.
We are moving
Somebody
on.
just stands up. Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah, we will be ready for that. It is time for our first hot topic, and it is evaluating Irma. So we know we dodged a direct hit on the Suncoast, but it was a close call. So we asked meteorologist John Scalzi to come explain to us exactly what happened with the storm in those final few hours. And I'll admit, as it was crossing the Keys, turning into Marco, my anxiety had peaked.
Yeah. Oh, I think
it was
everybody's
scary.
had. Because by that time, the storm had moved from a track that seemed to be going up the east coast of the state to the west coast as it moved closer and closer to Florida. You know, looking back over this, I think there's a lot of things that created anxiety. One was, as it moved through the Leeward Islands, it was the strongest storm on record ever to hit the Leeward Islands. Then as it carried on toward Cuba, it broke all kinds of records. You know, the longest term for a 185-mile-an-hour storm, the strongest storm in the Atlantic, the storm with the highest accumulated energy, exceeding all of the entire hurricane season combined in one storm. And then it moved on to Cuba as a Category 5. They'd never had a Category 5. And then we watched it as it moved further west in Cuba, which then started to favor tracks that took it up the west coast of the United States, Florida, a worst case scenario for us. And then it made that final little jog.
I have a question about Cuba. Had the storm not interacted with that northern edge of Cuba, would we have been dealing with a different situation?
We could have been dealing with a very different situation.
So
we
Cuba
could have been,
helped.
we could have been dealing with the storm that Cuba got, which was a Category 5 storm, and that would have just been unimaginable devastation for Florida.
Well, you know what everybody says, John? It's the Indians that keep the storms from hitting us.
know,
Were
right?
those Indians at work again, or was there some scientific answer, the reason it turned?
Well, you know, there were people who got themselves a Category 5 hurricane in Charlie. I guess the Indians weren't helping out too much there.
Yeah, good
so,
point.
I don't think we should trust in that. Cuba actually, yes, got a lot of damage.
That's what
from
we're
the
looking
storm.
at right here.
Terrible damage, and that did indeed disrupt some of the circulation. So as it made it further to the north, it made landfall in Marco Island as a much lesser storm. Plus, a debt of gratitude to the Everglades, which has traditionally been there to help absorb hurricane energy. And a lot of the northeast quadrant of the storm, which is the strong, really violent part of the storm, went over relatively uninhabited lands, which was a great thing.
So when the storm started to move to the north, I know all of us then started to see that southern eye erode a little bit.
Right.
Help us understand what caused the southern eye to then fall apart and lessen things a little bit for us.
Well, a hurricane, if you think of a hurricane, it's like a fireplace. You know, you throw logs in the fireplace, the smoke goes up the chimney, and it goes out the top. Well, if you take out a few of those logs, the fireplace has less energy. Well, for a hurricane, the logs are warm waters. So you move it over land, it doesn't have the logs to burn in the fireplace, and the energy starts decreasing, and the whole circulation starts falling apart. You don't have the thunderstorms to wrap around the southern end, because that's if you think about it, it starts down at 6 o'clock on the clock, and then by the time it goes all the way around the clock, it has to go to 8, 9, 7 o'clock before it actually makes it in that quadrant, which would have hit us. So by the time those thunderstorms go all the way around the eye of the hurricane, they start to lessen in intensity if they don't have the warm, moist waters to support
So
them.
were you more hopeful once you saw it move into Marco and Naples and Collier County that we would be able to see a lesser hurricane here on the Suncoast?
Honestly, I was hopeful before that when I started to see a little bit of a wobble as it exited the Keys. The Keys also horrible damage there, terrible damage. But they did indeed help disrupt the flow as well. But just as it moved to the north of Big Pine Island Key and started moving out over those warmer waters of the northern, of the southern tip of the state, we saw that little jog there. We saw a little wobble even before that jog. And when you see that wobble, you know that something's going on in the structure of the hurricane. Is it a hurricane eye wall replacement cycle? Possibly. Is it a change in the track? Possibly. Is it the fact that it's finally found the westernmost extreme of that high pressure ridge that was guiding it and it's starting to change course? And indeed it was starting to change course.
I know that you mentioned like the water, the warm water is kind of like the log. And this storm seemed to hug the coast of several areas where it was getting a bit of the water and a bit of the land. Did that help to kind of feed it more than normal?
It was fighting between two systems, and that's one of the reasons the model had such a hard, all the models had such a hard time placing it and kind of vacillated back and forth between solutions of East Coast and West Coast. It was fighting between a trough of low pressure sinking southward, which was creating kind of a little weakness in the big Bermuda high that we always talk about, that system was riding along the edge of. So as it had chipped away at the westernmost extent of that high pressure ridge, it provided the freeway for it to travel north. And exactly where that freeway was going to be built depended on the strength of that high pressure ridge.
It took its time. That was a lot of watching before it happened. I hate to even mention this. I know everybody is just emotionally exhausted from the week, but we are still in the peak of hurricane season.
We are.
I know Jose's not a factor for us, but I've seen a couple circles way out in the Atlantic of things people are watching. Tell us what we do need to be aware of for the next few weeks.
I think you just said it. We have a lot of hurricane season to go through. And October can be a busy month. September can be a busy month here in the Gulf waters. The focus will start to shift more toward the Caribbean and the Gulf as opposed to Atlantic storms as we end up the hurricane season. So there's still plenty of time out there for us to know.
Please don't say that.
to see more storms.
You, John.
Yes, I don't think I could take it.
We're going to take this weekend off for hurricanes. Can we at least say that?
Let's do that.
Let's take this
Let's do
weekend
that.
off because we are so ready for a break. So
I agree.
we cannot thank you enough. Your calming voice, your
everybody.
knowledge. We were
Everybody.
glued to it during the storm. And
I think a big thank you is in order, I think, for two people in particular. One is those people who heeded the evacuation orders, who listened to emergency management, who got out when they were told to, and you should do it next time as well, even though we didn't get the brunt of the storm this time.
You just never know.
And also the people who are going to donate their money now to those folks who really did get that Category 5, you know.
And the thousands working to get us all back on track because we're
Bless
still
them all.
working on it.
Bless
All
them
right,
all.
John, thank you so much. We did find some great images during the storm of people giving. This is our friend Chef Bob Overholser from Gold Rush Barbecue. He sent us this picture in the Southgate area. So they made themselves comfortable outside the best they could, right? They've got a fan, they've got their chairs, but there is also a sign on that table that says, "We have power. Feel free to charge." So kind of like an outdoor comfort station. Have a seat, have a bit of a breeze, and have some power. Because as Linda well knows, there's still many tens
I'll
of
be
thousands.
right over with my cell phone.
Without it. Okay, we're going to check in with our happy hour forecast. And when we come back, an amazing story of Suncoast people helping each other during the hurricane.
Well, good afternoon. We have some sunshine and a few showers and storms out there right now, scattered about the Suncoast. We are looking at temperatures on the warm side, too, with temperatures now into the upper 80s and heat indices up near 100 to 102 degrees, especially inland areas. And it looks as though we will see eventually some of these showers and storms work their way toward the coast later on in the day. We are anticipating a couple of systems that we're watching right now out in the Atlantic to become tropical storms or even hurricanes. We'll have a complete update on that. But as far as our weekend weather goes, looks to be pretty good. Partly cloudy skies are expected and only a slight chance for a few passing showers. We'll have the complete details on the tropics and an update as well as on the storms coming up again at 5 o'clock. We'll have details on the tropics as well as, again, on the weekend weather. All that coming up at 5 o'clock. We'll have the latest on Jose as well. See you then.
During the most trying times come some of the most amazing examples of human caring. There's so many stories of Suncoast hurricane heroes, people who stepped up to help virtual strangers in their time of need. Now, two of those people are here today to tell us their story. Welcome Barry Dunn, the principal of Tatum Ridge Elementary, and Stephen Covert, the principal of Pine View School. All right, guys, we've heard some great things. So set the stage for us. Tell us what happened at Tatum Ridge.
Well, we were what they call a PSN shelter, which is persons with special needs. And so everybody checking into our shelter had some sort of medical need, many on oxygen tanks that needed to be plugged in. We sort of planned for a certain number, but as I said to someone earlier today, we don't have Travelocity. We don't know how many people are going to show up. We ended up with over 900 people in our building, including that was our family, family members of other staff that were working the shelter, but mostly our special needs patients. And we just had a late night emergency when our generator blew.
I was going to say, because you guys lost power.
We did. We lost power the first time at 4 o'clock, and the generator blew, or the generator kicked on, and at 8 o'clock it went out. And at that point, we had some problems.
Oh, well, yes. Kind of describe those problems, because you're saying people were on oxygen. They need electricity for that. Is that right?
The individuals with special needs, some of them were elderly, some disabled, some on oxygen concentrators, some on liquid oxygen. We had those tanks as well. But they all were people with special needs.
So this is life or death when there's no power. This is as bad as it gets.
Some had less than 1 hour of oxygen left. And in the height of the emergency, we literally pulled together. You mentioned heroes. We're not heroes, but we worked with a lot of heroes that night.
Speaking of heroes, your custodial staff, tell me what them and the school bus drivers did.
Kurt Weaver, he deserves some sort of medal.
He does.
Tell us what he did.
He and 3 other gentlemen, 2 were school board folks, and 2 were just volunteers. That my assistant principal's husband, he's an electrician, had some knowledge of generators. There he is in that picture with the headlight and the hat on backwards. We had another gentleman who was there with his wife, who's a school board employee, and they just jumped in, and literally in the height of the storm, they ran out to our generator, which is housed about 50 yards behind the school, into the elements to troubleshoot the generator. They were able to resuscitate it a couple times, but at one point they looked at me and said, 3 belts have blown. We have 1 belt left. It's not going to make it through the night. We've got to figure things out. And that's when I'll let Dr. Covert tell how the heroes stepped up with personal generators.
When the power began to fail and there was 1 belt left, the whole building was dark. These are individuals with special needs. The PA system, obviously, with no power, the PA system wouldn't work. So
the elevator's not working.
Elevator's not working. We have people in cots and wheelchair-bound individuals. So Sergeant Carrillo with the Sarasota Sheriff's Department, Lieutenant Earhart, both of their staffs came together with school personnel, the Sarasota Health Department, just amazing folks providing care. We came up with a plan to begin bringing those individuals down one by one by hand. The most needy, immediate needs for oxygen were brought to the cafeteria. And
so you're carrying people at this point.
Carrying people down the stairs.
Yes. First responders had to stage at our school for post-storm. They came in when the winds hit 45, had to sleep in our building, and we actually woke them up and said, we need your help. We need your help now. And people were offering up personal generators. We plugged them out front. Our soccer field, I would have never known this. I don't know a thing about generators, but our soccer field has lights that light up at night, and there are a couple of them that have generators built into the bottom. And the county workers that were there to go clean trees up the next day said, I can go get those for you. Do you have a key for the gate? I'm like, absolutely not. He goes, can I break through? I'm like, absolutely.
So they broke a hole in the fence to get
They broke through the fence.
Irma
hit the fence.
Irma hit that fence.
Okay, right. That's the story we're going to stick with.
That's right. That's our story.
We'll tell FEMA.
There's a pretty cool video out that's being kicked around. Actually, the Sheriff's Department put a video out that's got a video of one of the guys had a GoPro on his head, and he's in that bulldozer. They break the fence. They get the 2 generators. They bring them to the front. We're bringing people in, hooking them up. We're hearing beeps all over the room. That meant they're overloading a circuit, so we've got to figure out how many can go on each power strip.
And meanwhile, people are depending on you to breathe.
Absolutely.
Correct. And the lights are off, so one of our assistant principals, Patty Felino, thought of the idea. Everywhere there's going to be a power source, I'm going to put a flashlight down. When they bring people in, roll them to a flashlight. So just the amount of problem solving that went on. The two of us happened to be in charge, but I cannot take 1 ounce of credit for what really went down.
That's amazing. And how do you guys feel now that, you know, everything's back? How do you feel about the experience?
I'm pretty humbled. You know, typically, our daily operations include skin knees and maybe a broken bone every now and then, and you know, teaching kids how to read and how to do math. We save lives, and that really was, you know, to be in that moment and be able to do that, it humbles me.
It does. The sense of collaboration, different agencies that normally we don't work together.
Yeah.
But Ed McCrane with Sarasota Emergency Management, the Health Department, the Sheriff, the fire and rescue folks.
Even your volunteers.
And we had volunteers that were spouses of teachers and just everybody coming out. You know, my nephew, my sister were there digging in the garbage, helping us keep garbage compact during dinner time and things that just anybody and everybody saying, how can we help?
How
what
are
can
the
we
patients? Are they okay?
Everybody is fine. And one of the things that I said before to somebody else was that it remained very calm. Everybody, they trusted us. They were calm. We had a gentleman that jumped up on the piano. He was probably in his 80s, and he started playing with the sing-along. He was playing "You Are My Sunshine," and people were singing along and dancing. So they were happy, they were calm, they trusted us.
And most importantly, they were safe thanks to you and everybody working
They
together.
are alive today because
That's
of
exactly
you.
right.
I can only imagine when you saw that 1 hour left of oxygen, you know, that emotion. So great job. Thank you guys for what you did for the community and for all the people that helped you get it accomplished. Thank you also. Next, Marcia is going to tell us how we can help pets who've been affected by the storm. We'll be right back.
The 11 o'clock advisory, the new update now is suggesting that the tornado watch is over, although sometimes tornadoes do occur outside of the watch area.
Stay in for now because first responders still have to assess the area.
As information is coming in, we're just trying to make sure that it gets on air, on digital, and on the phone.
Storm's impact goes well beyond, you know, damage and power outages. It also affects sports.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Detoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential. There's no cost and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
Being the caregiver for someone you love is truly a blessing. But sometimes you can lose a part of yourself. To be your best, for them and for you, it's important to have time to be able to recharge your batteries. When you call Tidewell Hospice, they can give you a chance to do just that, and with the peace of mind of knowing your loved one is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
Thousands on the Suncoast are still without power, so houses are hot and pets are panting. Animal Outtakes host Marcia Panucci is here to help us keep our four-legged friends as comfortable as possible until the power gets back on. Boy, pet owners without power, I'm one of them. What can we do,
Well,
Marcia?
the first thing is if you're going to take your dog for a walk, leash walk them. Why? Because there's underground wires, there's critters that are coming out of swamps and rivers and that type of thing, so you want to get your dog totally under control. But there are so many other things that you really need to do, and the most important thing is hydrate, hydrate, hydrate.
Oh,
they can go for 3-4 days without eating, but they need that water, every bit of that water. And also watch for the signs of overheating. And what are they? Very simple. Excessive panting, but watch their lips. With their tongue, they start to lick their lips.
Oh.
And when you start to see that, you're going to see some vomiting right after that. Now, if they have been without food, it's going to be bile, and of course, that's going to be excessive. So you need to hydrate. We just keep talking about that. Using ice packs. If you were fortunate enough to make some ice packs, you're good. Wrap them around the body, especially around the paws, because the paws either draw heat or they draw cold. So you definitely want to do that. Now, if you don't have the ice packs, hopefully you've got some cold water. Take a towel, pour that water on the towel, and start wrapping them up. And one of the things that we did at Dante's Den, because we were concerned about vomiting and diarrhea, because of course now you've got dogs in a very, very close situation. You don't need to feed them. You can keep wonderful, nutritious treats, watch those treats, but don't worry if they don't eat. As long as they are drinking, they're going to be just fine. And especially after the storm, they're not going to be hungry. And keep those medications up. Why? Because they need them. And you know who else needs those sedatives? Us. So keep it going.
Oh, Marcia, I learned so much. Well, you can see Animal Outtakes on Saturday morning here at ABC 7. It's at 6:30 a.m. and again at noon. And next, the show must go on as Suncoast arts organizations come together after Irma.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabeinn.com.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential. There's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
If you're looking for a rewarding job you'll love, good news. The perfect job is just a click away. Go to mysuncoast.com/job of the day. It's that easy. Stop searching and go to mysuncoast.com/job of the day to find the perfect job for you.
It's Willamania at the Players Center as the Will Rogers Follies takes the stage September 27th. Part homespun humor and part Ziegfeld Follies, this toe-tapping Tony Award musical is the start of our wild Broadway series. So call the Players at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. You need to catch Will-A-Mania.
The old theater saying goes, the show must go on. But that's a lot easier said than done for our area arts organizations right now as they battle water damage and they remain without power. So here's what we've been able to find out about our Suncoast theater friends. Okay, the Players is having a bit of a tough time right now. They had to rebuild their stage due to water damage.
So we got back here after the storm. We rushed over here and we realized that we had sustained some water damage onto the stage, but we weren't sure of the extent. We knew we had some air conditioning damage. The grand drape was damaged. Tuesday we realized the extent of the damage to the stage, which would virtually cripple us. So the crew came in and we rallied a bunch of volunteers to get the flooring up. What the nice thing was about the community is actors and crew and volunteers all came out to help us, but it was our sister theater, Venice Theater, who actually sent a crew over to help us, and by 2-3 o'clock Wednesday afternoon, our entire floor behind us was installed and the first coat of paint on.
Isn't that amazing? Wow. In most communities, theaters are competitors. Here, they are partners. They work together on that.
Especially with Venice coming up, you know? I mean, everybody's putting on shows that compete for the ticket money and the patrons and all that, but they really united. I love that.
We are so proud of it. Yeah. And the good news is they can still open on time. Their opening show is September 28th, and it's the Will Rogers Folly, so everybody will get a good laugh, which we certainly need. So September 28th, guys. And even if it wasn't damaged, the Oslo Repertory Theater has been without power and not able to prepare for their coming season. We talked to them about how their production is going to change.
Fortunately, we had no damage, just a lot of cleanup to do. Well, the power came back here at our scene shop, the Koski Center, and we were able to bring our carpenters and prop people and painters back in. We moved the costume shop into this operation, and down the hall we have our wigs. One of the amazing highlights of this is the way the whole theater community has come together. Urbanite, West Coast Black Theater, the Players. We even got a call from a theater over on the East Coast that's doing Little Foxes, which we did last year. They're having problems now getting their props and things, so they're going to come over here. The theater community and the community in general really comes together in one of these moments. Makes you feel pretty proud to be part of it.
And it makes us very proud to know that the Oslo Conservatory did get a helping hand from both the West Coast Black Theater and the Urbanite Theater. And one of the best looking spots on the Suncoast, Selby Botanical Gardens, received help from numerous volunteers and cleanup crews. And of course, Ringling Museum, they're also working very hard over there to clean up. You can expect them to be open again very, very soon. Plus, Florida Studio Theater is open this weekend with Improv and with Roar, the 20s cabaret show that we previewed for you last week. And we also have another show opening this week. MAME runs through October 1st. It is going to be opening at the Manatee Performing Arts Center. They escaped serious damage, and the musical MAME is going to be performed just as scheduled. And today we are lucky enough to get a preview. Here's Ellen Kleinschmidt in the title role singing If He Walked Into My Life. Take it away.
The boy with the bugle, my little love, who was always my big romance. Where's the boy with the bugle? And why did I ever buy him those damn long pants? Should I blame the times I pampered him, or blame the times I bossed him? What a shame, I never really found the boy before I lost him. Were the years a little fast? Was his world a little free? Was there too much of a crowd, all too lush and loud, and not enough of me? Though I'll ask myself my whole life long, what went wrong along the way? Would I make the same mistakes if he walked into my life today? If that boy with a bugle walked into my life today?
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. MAME runs through October 1st, of course, at the Manatee Performing Arts Center. For ticket information, you can go to their website. We'll continue to update you on other Suncoast arts organizations as they open. Next, how Goodwill needs your help to help the storm victims.
ABC 7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
From our studios on Florida Suncoast, this is an ABC 7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what we're working on right now for 5 o'clock. With thousands still without power, we'll show you how some people are getting creative to beat the heat. Look at how one woman is coping and getting back to an almost normal. Another blow to families in Venice living near the Mayaca River, how the Red Cross is stepping in to help those uprooted from flooding in that area. Let's get a check on our weather now with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob?
Yeah, I'll tell you, the Peace River is still above where it was supposed to be. It's at 19 feet now, so we'll have an update on that flood warning. Also, we have 3 separate systems in the Atlantic right now. Jose doesn't appear to be a problem. Obviously, it's going to be moving off to the north and west, and then we're watching these two head off to the west. Tropical Depression 14 and soon to be 15. Well, much more on the system as well as our weather. We're looking at some nice weather over the weekend. Details at 5. See you then.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
It's going to be a little bit time consuming and probably a bit tedious, but worlds better than it could have been.
We can rebuild. There's no problem about that. You know, you can put a new roof on a mobile home, you know, or new windows in there. But as long as you have your life, you know, that's all that matters.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Detoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
And welcome back. Goodwill Minnesota is committed to helping those in need in our community. And for some right now on the Suncoast, that need is extensive. Today's good news from Goodwill, Veronica Brandon Miller and Marjorie Genter are here to tell us about how Goodwill is partnering with some relief organizations to kind of help people get back on their feet.
Oh yeah, I think everybody was a hero this
past week. And many are still suffering, and I have to admit, Goodwill, we were without power. A lot of our employees are still without power.
Wow.
Stores. So, but that's not going to stop us from helping others.
Speaking of that, what organizations are you partnering with?
So, Margie Genter, our Vice President of Mission Services, works with all these different partners. So I'm going to let her talk about how we're helping them rebuild.
All right.
So most people know us for jobs, but during times of crisis in the community, we want to help. And even when it's not a time of crisis, we always have items that we can give people. So a lot of partners, there's probably 60 different agencies that refer people to us when they need things. So that it would include United Way 211, the Red Cross, Turning Points, Centerstone, Suncoast Behavioral, really any agency in town that works with people in need. So that type of assistance is always available. But right now, we think that people may have evacuated and left behind some clothing or may have water damage. And if that's the case, then we'd like to be able to help with clothing, household goods, furniture, that kind of thing. We are working with the Red Cross on that, and plus all those other 60 agencies that are on our list. And so it'll be easy for people to find somewhere to get a voucher and bring it to us.
Speaking of the voucher, tell me how that works.
So Red Cross will have Goodwill vouchers, and the other agencies in town that work with us will fax us a request. We'll provide a voucher. That person who has a need can come and pick up their voucher, and then they'll be able to get clothing, furniture, household goods, whatever they need. And if someone wasn't really sure where to go to get that referral, United Way 211 is a good place to get that information.
So make sure I'm understanding, you have this application for a voucher, and if you once you have that voucher in hand, you go to one of the area stores and pick up anything that you're in need of.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, because you're going to realize, oh, I need a bed, I need towels, things, you know,
Things
I
you
need
forget
a
about.
fan, you know, whatever it is. And because when you donate or shop, thank you, you're helping us help others. But it's very important. Because you were saying, hey, I have a bag of clothes, what can I do? Well, we're set up, Goodwill's set up to sort and distribute. You know, by giving it to the Red Cross, they're calling us saying, please take this off our hands. Yes.
Because Red Cross doesn't have stores. You have stores.
Yeah, and we can help sort and distribute and be that mechanism. So, yes. Definitely go.
And right now we're looking at a graphic of some of the items that you're telling people to donate. So these are beds and mattresses are something that people are going to need. Sheets and pillows, jeans, shoes, and fans. I guess apparently
there's a lot of battery-operated fans that I know is in the bottom of your closet. Bring them out because there's a lot of people without power and would be very appreciative.
In addition, are you accepting monetary donations?
Absolutely, because what we can do is help rebuild. So, and do more for this community. So I will never turn down money, ever.
All right, well, a lot of people are relying on you guys, so thank you so much for partnering with others in the community to make sure those impacted can get the help they need.
And people want to help right now. I think people want to help and don't know how. So this is a great way to bring everybody together.
All right, well, if you guys want to get more information about donating and where to go, just go to experiencegoodwill.org, and they have all the details on their website. Next, a treat for those had a difficult time this week. Ladies, you're going to like this one.
Ooh.
Ooh.
When you want to get away from it all, to a place where you can do everything, or nothing at all, surrounded by natural beauty and all the modern amenities you might desire, then you'll want to be here at the Wanna Be Inn on the beautiful shores of Manasota Key, Florida. To plan your escape, log on to wannabein.com.
Call to see if you qualify to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan right now. At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits. all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book and DVD. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. Call 1-800-558-8779.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Watch ABC7 wherever you are. Just search ABC7 on your streaming device to keep up with the Suncoast from the comfort of your couch. Download ABC7 now to watch us on TV anytime you want. ABC7, we're here for you wherever you are.
Welcome back. Well, in the midst of the hurricane, there were actually a few moments of levity, especially on social media. For example, the Gainesville Police Department posted this pic simply to say this trio was headed out to work the night shift. Well, it went viral, getting shared over 200,000 times, women commenting on the officers' good looks. So not to be outdone, our very own Sarasota police officers responded with some hot cops of their own.
Looking better.
So today, we have the honor of meeting some of Sarasota's finest, and girls, I mean finest, men in blue. So come on up here. Warm welcome for the Sarasota Police Department. Starting with a thank you for all you do for our community, especially during the storm, but a special thank you for putting it out and standing right up to Gainesville on Facebook. Introduce yourselves for me.
All right. Eric Rollerson with Sarasota Police Department.
My name's Hunter Craig.
Okay. And?
Chase Glockner.
All right. So I'm going to have you hold that, okay? And you are Mike, but we're going to have to help you out a little bit here. Tell us a little bit about, during the storm, what made you want to like have a little fun, lighten things up a little bit, stuff like that?
Everybody, the intensity's high. We don't know what's going to go. We don't know what's going to happen. You know, we were all there. The community, we're all just going through the same adversity. Yeah. And all the people look to us as a beacon of light. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to have a little, just amongst ourselves, have a little fun, joke. We're staying at the police department. It's crowded. It's hot.
Right. You can't go out on calls anyway until the winds calm down. We get it. We were all right there.
And the tension's building.
And it didn't help that you guys were hot also. So you were like, let me just put it out there.
So once the storm's gone through and we see the aftermath and we see that, okay, that we've now it's time to go to work. Mm-hmm. What can we do to have a little fun, you know? So our PIO, Genevieve, she saw that Gainesville had posted a picture of those boys over there having some fun, and we were getting ready to ship out to Northport to help help that community out. And right before we took off, she was like, "Hey, let's get together. Let's
show them what we got."
Right. Have a little fun.
And Gainesville's got nothing on you. Now, Gainesville is actually talking about putting together a calendar, which then the proceeds would go to help hurricane relief. I'm thinking we got something. Yeah, this is your first promotional effort here. What do you think, baby?
Bring it on.
Bring it on. All right. Now, we do have one very important question to ask, and it's the whole community wants to know. Are we single? Are we taken? Because Gainesville, most of them were married.
No, fortunately for me, I am not taken.
You are not taken. All right, we're going to take roll call here. We're not scared at all. Single?
Single.
Not married, but currently dating someone.
Okay, so probably a little inaccessible.
Single.
All right.
And I'll buy the first gross of calendar.
All right, yes, we're looking forward to the calendar. We can't thank you enough for all you do, and we completely appreciate your sense of humor because, quite honestly, we all needed a little fun, and it's what has been a very long week. So thanks again.
Stress.
Yes, it does. All right, speaking of easing stress, we are headed to the kitchen next. We're going to check in with Tsunami. Stay with us.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC7 News app.
This is the story of a boy who was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what's coming up at the top of the hour. Life has gotten a little squirrely at the Wildlife Center of Venice after Hurricane Irma. The center taking in hundreds of displaced animals. In Suncoast Traffic Watch right now, traffic's backed up on I-75 heading north. This is from Bee Ridge Road north to Fruitville in Sarasota. Now back to Bob for more on our weather.
Yeah, some storms are on right now, Scott. In fact, we have a line of showers and some lightning right along I-75 from Clark Road northward up to Lakewood Ranch. In fact, Tower Cam getting a very interesting shot right now of an intense storm. And I tell you, we are looking at the possibility, that's not an intense storm, but the other one is. But we'll talk more about that and let you know about our 3 systems that we're watching out in the Atlantic. 3 big systems out there. 2 could become tropical storms soon. And Jose appears to be missing us. Details at 5.
ABC7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetzy. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Minnesota Flooring.
And for a limited time, Minnesota Flooring is offering you unbelievable pricing on tile and laminate. Porcelain tile only $1.59. Ceramic tile 99 cents. And 16 by 16 tile $1.19. Laminate flooring is only 99 cents. But these prices won't last. Don't miss out on these great deals. Hurry into Minnesota Flooring today.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Coming up Monday at 4 on Suncoast View. Well, there is no doubt it has been a stressful week. How are your kids handling it? We will talk to a child therapist about how we can turn the hurricane into a learning experience that will ultimately make kids stronger. The Wildlife Center of Venice shows us who they rescued during Irma, plus more Suncoast hurricane hero stories, and Cascanale joins us in the kitchen.
Welcome back, and we're here with Chef Sam from Tsunami, and what are we doing today?
Today we are doing our honeymoon appetizer from Tsunami. It's,
honeymoon?
It's a
honeymoon.
Why
stuffed
honeymoon?
jalapeno. I don't know.
Is it spicy?
Yeah, it's a little bit. We take the seeds out, so it's not too.
It's hot and spicy.
Hot,
It's been a long week, Sam. Bear with us.
Well, let's make this thing.
All right.
Okay.
So when do we start?
So we start with jalapenos. When you're at the store buying them, you want to get some bigger ones that you can put plenty of fillings in.
Okay.
I de-seeded yours.
Thank you.
And that's important because that gets rid of the heat, right? Some
right.
of the heat.
Right. When you're seeding a jalapeno, make sure you either wear gloves or wash your hands when you're done. Do not touch faces or go to the bathroom or it will burn.
Wow. Good to know.
Yes.
Okay, so
Speaking
you're taking
from-
the seeds out.
He said he's speaking from experience.
Bad experiences here.
Okay, that's
Right.
very funny.
So seeds out, or you don't have to take the seeds out, but it's going to be really, really hot. So
Okay.
if you're playing a prank or something, I guess you could leave them in there on a couple of them.
All right, so you helped us out and took our seeds.
Right.
So we're ready with you.
Okay, so you've got it here, just the half of it, and then we're going to take our crab mixture. This is crab and mayo and the salt and pepper.
Okay.
And you just want to fill that half of your jalapeno there.
Okay.
See that guy?
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Is it
Stuff it
good?
in there good. You want to pack it in there pretty tight so that when we cook it, it doesn't come apart.
Oh, okay.
We're going to cook it, huh?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right.
And then I've cut some cream cheese into little strips like this.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to use that to kind of glue it all together.
Do we smush it?
Smush it in there.
Smush it in.
Yep.
Smush the cream cheese in.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, mine's got a curve.
It does.
It'll be all right.
Spinal problem there.
You gave us the easiest task and we still can't do it
No,
right.
you're doing good.
Oh,
good.
yeah,
It doesn't
we're not
cover
smushed
the whole
enough.
thing.
Yeah, just
Okay, now
hold
we're
it in there.
Look at yours.
Okay, there you go.
All right, and then we're just going to put it in a little bit of flour, and then our batter here is just flour and water.
All right, so should we
Whisk
pass
together.
ours down for you to
Yeah,
dredge?
pass them
Here you
down.
go.
Okay.
I didn't want to put hot oil in front of all of us.
That was probably a good
Good
choice.
idea, yes.
So we just stick that guy in the batter there, and then pop it in the fryer.
Okay.
And how long do they fry for?
About 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can also, if you don't want to fry it and be healthier, then you could wrap it in bacon. I don't know if it's healthier. You can wrap
Wrapping it in bacon?
Yeah.
I've never heard that phrase, healthy and bacon, the same thing. Well, Sam, while we let those cook for a little bit, we're going to keep passing these down to you. I read something that kind of made me feel sad just for our area restaurants. I know you had said Tsunami got very lucky that,
Yes.
we know that this is a slower time of year for restaurants anyway, so revenues tend to be down. And I've heard a lot of people had to replace ingredients.
Yeah.
Without power. Like, what's your thoughts on that? How does that work in terms of, having a stock and then having power go
Well,
out? What would that mean?
You would hope that you got rid as much stock as you could, but those walk-in coolers, when they go out, you're in trouble, because that's like a room. It's
Huge,
like a,
yes.
Oh, wow.
And that's going to be full of enough food to feed a restaurant. So.
Right. Well, is
A
that
lot of
something you
people
were
had
worried
to-
about?
A lot,
Go ahead, Boba.
a lot of restaurants had to throw all of that out.
You lose it, yeah. Grocery stores too, you'll see, like we went to go get some stuff from Sam's Club and that cooler's totally empty.
Wow. So there must be, are they waiting for trucks to come in at this point then
Now,
to restock?
to restock, that's what
Okay.
we're waiting on, and that's why a few restaurants have had to close.
But
Have you
your
had any-
coolers are okay.
Our coolers were great, yeah.
So you didn't have to have a limited menu or anything the rest of the week? Because I've been several places that were open with power, but they did have a limited menu. So I
Right.
thought, well, that must just be what was available in their cooler.
Right, what
How's
didn't
it-
go bad.
I was
Exactly.
at Dunkin' Donuts, they said no food, just drink.
Dunkin' Donuts wasn't feeding you?
Starbucks was closed
Yeah,
and just
Starbucks.
opened a couple of days ago.
Your neighbor.
And
Right.
yeah, they didn't have any milk. They have no milk at all.
Hard to make coffee without milk.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
refrigerator's been off about 6 days, 5 days.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid to open it. I don't want to see what's in
Mine
there.
cleaned it out yet. Mine didn't matter. I didn't have any food in it.
All right, well, we
That
are
looks
making
pretty.
honeymoon jalapenos with Sam from Tsunami, and those are coming out hot from the fryer, and they look
Yeah, we're
absolutely
going to let
amazing.
those cool off a bit.
We did
All right.
good.
Well, then I
Yeah.
want one that's already cool. I'm digging in.
And Girls, if you want to give it a go.
Dig
We
in
can-
as
we can
well.
eat
All right.
this?
And
Oh
it's
my
not
goodness.
totally spicy, right? I'm not going to scream
You're
if I
not
bite
going
into
to
it.
scream. Don't worry.
You are the tester.
Unless you get the one with seeds.
Not too spicy, but it's got a great little kick.
You like it?
I love it.
Awesome.
All right, very fun. And these are on the menu, correct?
That's right.
Delicious.
All right,
This
now
is
I have to chew and
good.
talk. I'm glad you think that's
Now
funny.
I know why it's called honeymoon.
Honeymoon.
Oh, woo, it's a spicy one. All right, you can
remember
find
this.
these at Tsunami with Chef Sam. These are called honeymoon jalapenos, which we absolutely love, but of course he has a great full menu available and no storm damage, so that's a great thing. Marcia, great to have you. Glad
Thanks
everybody's
for
back.
having me.
Linda, we're going to keep our prayers in place for your power, okay?
Thank you, thank you.
We'll get it back for you eventually. Everybody, it's been a long week. Take some time and enjoy the Suncoast view.